All right, so this video is for lesson 2.8 homework. So number 1, what is the name of a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range? Every x is paired up with its own y. What is that called? Function. Everything we're doing this year. All right, what is the name of the value of x such that the y value of the relation equals 0? So we've been calling that the x-intercept. Another name for it, it's the exact same thing, but we can also call them the zeros of the function. And that we call them the zeros more when we do quadratic functions. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a linear function in slope-intercept form using finite differences. Can I use linear regression? Absolutely. But when it comes to tomorrow's lesson, you can't use linear regression. So you need to know the process today with nice, pretty numbers so you can use that process tomorrow when the numbers start getting gross. All right. So what's the change in x? How is x changing every time? They're adding 1. Okay. So now we got to find, and we know they're linear, so we know it's going to be a first difference. So do y'all remember how to find the first difference? Work backwards. -6 minus -9. So that one is a 3. Then we do -3 minus -6. That one's a 3. 0 minus a -3 is a 3, and then 3 minus 0 is 3. So today, your second difference is going to be a common difference. They're all going to be the same. Tomorrow, they're not. We're going to have to find an average finite difference tomorrow. But that's why I wanted you to, again, process over everything else. So that finite difference, that change right here, that's your slope. That's all that is. So we're writing these in slope-intercept form. So that means we're going to start with y equals 3x. That changes my slope. Okay. And then the y-intercept is the one that we've got to find by hand. So we know we've got y equals 3x plus b. Now, the b is when x equals 0. Is that value in the table? Do I have an x is 0 in the table?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my y-intercept.
So what if you didn't have 0?
Okay, let's do one where you don't have a 0. Let's see. That one's got it. That one's got it. So let's do 4. All right, so we got to find, so what's the change here? What's the change in x here? How's x changing? All right, we're adding 2. So we got it. This is actually a good one to work because we got to do something different for this one. All right, so the change in y. All right, 9. Sorry, it froze. 9 minus -9 is 18. Okay. 27 minus 9, 18. 45 minus 27, 18. 63 minus 45, 18. All right, since my change in x is not 1, yeah, I take the change in y, so it's change in y divided by change in x. So change in y is 18, divided by change in x is 2. So that's my slope. Y equals 9x. Okay, to find the y-intercept, y equals 9x plus b. I can pick any ordered pair off of this. Any one that I want to use. Let's use 1 and 9. I like using positives if I can avoid it. So I can use 1 comma 9. That means instead of a y, I can write a 9. Instead of an x, I can write a 1. And then we're solving for b. All this is menu 3-1. It's solving an equation at this point. Comma b. B equals 0. do I need to write that? Do I need to write 9x plus 0?
No.
Because it doesn't make a difference. But if it was a 1, a 2, a negative 3, remember if it's positives, plus 1, plus 2. If it's negatives, minus 3, minus 6. In this case, if it's a 0, we don't write anything. But that's how you find the y-intercept if it's not given to you on the table. All right. So let's do 7. What's the change in x on 7? How does x increase every time?
3.
1.
Oh, 7.
Okay. So then change in y. Can anybody tell by looking what's happening every time? Yeah, you're subtracting 1 every time. Okay, so we've got y equals negative 1x. What's the y-intercept?
Negative 4.
Minus 4. But look what this one says. Standard form. So, I want the x to be positive and no fractions. Is the x positive? No. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to add 1x to both sides. X comes first. Do we write a 1 in front of that x? No. We make it invisible. And that's it. I'm done. That is in standard form. Let's do 9. Because 9 doesn't have the y-intercept given to you. What's the change in x here? What are they doing? Every time. All right, plus 6. All right. Change in y.
Minus 5.
Minus 5. All right. So, my slope then would be the change in y, which is a negative 5, over the change in x. So my equation would be y equals negative 5, 6x plus b. Now I got to find the y-intercept. So pick a point. Let's use 6 comma negative 5. I'm pulling this right off the table. So the y is a negative 5. The x is a 6 plus b. And again, your calculator will do the heavy lifting for you. Negative 5 equals negative 5/6 times 6 plus b, comma b. Remember when you end solve, whatever letter, comma that letter. Okay, so my equation in slope-intercept form. That's it. But I need it in standard form. Okay, so how do I get rid of that fraction?
Divide by the denominator.
So I times everything by 6. 6 times y, 6y. This cancels this. So now I have negative 5x. All right, I need x and y together. Is x positive? It's not. So that means I'm moving the x. If the x is negative, that's who's moving. Plus 5x, plus 5x. Now what happens? What happens to this side? Do I just, sorry it froze. Do I just leave this side blank because that canceled out?
Put a 0.
Yeah, put a 0. You don't want equals and then nothing there. It has to be equal to something. It's equal to 0. All right, that leaves you 4 tables. If you get stuck, you let me know. You let me help you.